This is a great example of the Hot Wheels metallic paint or pearl paint finishes that have color variations. And when you're in the store, it's incredibly hard sometimes with the bad lighting to see these paint variations, but if you've been doing this as long as I have, you know what to look for. Here we have the 2023 Corvette. The top one is lighter, the bottom one is darker, and if you look at the top of the car, it has a fair amount of paint on the top of it, but this car, you can see the details in this little grill here, or the trunk area by the fuel cap, has more paint and it's darker because of that. So that also tells you that this blue on the second one is darker, and when you see them together you can tell that the bottom one is slightly darker. Now, I just picked up these cars yesterday. They're the 57 Jeep FC and the Ford F-150 Lightning Custom. And I found 10 of these Jeeps, and I was hoping to find a color variation, and I did. And in the store, it was kind of hard to tell, but there was one. This one was super dark. This one was super light. And then there was a whole bunch that were like in between these two colors. But here you can tell on camera, it's immediately apparent. This one's lighter, this one's darker. It's definitely noticeable. So check that out when you're looking for these Hot Wheels new models, because that's definitely a fun thing to look for. Now, the last one is the Ford F-150 Lightning Custom. Here, this top one is an incredibly light dusting of blue metallic / pearl paint. I think it has some iridescence in it, but you can tell that here's the second one that is kind of a medium blue. I think this is kind of what the car should be. And then this bottom one here is way darker blue. This was the only light blue one I found, and there was a couple of dark blue ones, but they were really hard to tell what colors they were in the store. Again, I literally had to buy just a couple of them, and I took my educated guess, and I guessed right, baby. So this is my top tip on how to find Hot Wheels color variations. The variations, from what I have learned, are only in the metallic or the pearlescent paints. There doesn't seem to be color variations in the solid colored cars without the metallic finish. And the reason that there's color variation in the metallic finish is because I think with the metallic finishes, you know, some cars are sprayed more heavily than others. Maybe there's difference in the actual blue metallic paint when it's being produced in different batches. Maybe some have a slightly different shade of blue in them. I think it's fun. It gives you an extra car to collect. They're hard to find, and not everyone is going to have them. Not everyone is going to notice them. Not everyone is going to know. And if you like this kind of a video where I talk about how to spot these paint variations and what they are, I'd be happy to do so. What I'm thinking is maybe doing a paint variation video on the Hot Wheels new models for 2023 after the Q case gets wrapped up, and I can show you all the paint variations for all the 2023 model year new model vehicles all at once. Just make a nice short video. I'm going to be cracking these open because once you open them, the color difference between the shades of color becomes even more apparent. When they're in the blisters, it kind of obscures it slightly. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Happy peg hunting. We're near the end of 2023 new models. Should be wrapping up this month. Seeing as it's Friday, and seeing as you just saw with these cars in the sunlight, putting your metallic cars in the sunlight for a quick check to see how light or dark they are can be helpful. As you can tell under my LED lights here, that this car is still darker, this car is still lighter. The medium car is trending more towards this one. And then on the Jeep, yes, on the table here, you can tell this one's darker and this one's lighter, but when they're in the sun, the difference is much more apparent. It's definitely something to take into consideration when you are Hot Wheels hunting for new models with color variations. Now, I already have one of these open, so let's just do a little checkaroo here. See where this one falls. Gonna have to stick all three in the sun again, I guess. The car in the middle is the one that I already opened. There's the lighter version. There's the one I opened. Here's the dark version. Honestly, this one and the dark version are similar, but this one does have more paint here along this front edge and in here. And this car has, it's less of a royal blue and has more, a little bit of something else in it. I think there's 3 variations. I'm gonna open these other 2 and we'll find out right now if I have 3 color variations or just 2. Like I said, found 18 of these Jeep FCs yesterday at one store, so it's absolutely insane. Amazingly, what I've learned is that the metallic paint doesn't chip, which is interesting. I think it's because the paint has to be thicker. Let's start with the light one because we know it is lighter. Yes, definitely. Oh yeah, nothing like cracking Hot Wheels on a Friday. Definitely makes a good start to the weekend. That's for sure. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, there's a huge difference here. You can even tell on the roof here, this one's a little bit lighter, this one's darker, but the main difference is there's less paint in here versus in here. Okay, so the question is, how much darker is this one? All right, well, it's only $1.24. Let's find out. Yeah, it is slightly darker. Yeah, there's more paint right there. There's more paint in this toolbox area. There's more paint on this edge here. It's subtle. I mean, in the store you would never know unless you had a keen eye, a seasoned eye. That's pretty cool. So I would say this is probably the one everyone's going to get. This is the lighter version and this is the darker version. The dark version is probably going to be, maybe there'll be a fair amount of them. The light version will probably be the rare one. Okay, next up is the Ford F-150 Lightning. So there's the light version, the medium version, the dark version. Now this paint color is tricky because it's a pearlescent blue. This bottom one has some pearlescent in it, you can really see it. The top one's metallic blue, and the middle one is a different metallic blue. I guess it's a little bit darker. But this one definitely has pearlescent in it, or these two might be the same, and I just can't tell because they're in the package. But this one's definitely lighter. It's noticeable. There was maybe only 2 that were lighter out of the 15 or so, or whatever it was, these that I found. Very cool. I will take it. And I think for variation, color variations are the most fun because it's essentially like you get to collect an extra car that a lot of other people might not have. Oh yeah. It's light, all right, baby. Yeah. Wow, and this is a light car. It's not heavy at all because as a plastic base, so much plastic on the interior, has full windows all the way around. Has this plastic clear piece here over the bed. That's a weird choice, but I guess they did it so that you could have the clear tail lamps here. That's kind of cool. So it has the frosted headlamps like the real car does. The dark boy, because I know he's dark. And this is a car that I think a lot of people are probably not even going to pick up. I think they're going to totally dismiss it. That's a shame because this pearlescent blue is absolutely fantastic. Why would you not? Oh yeah, it's dark, baby. Oh, that's awesome. There's the Ford logo on the bed there. This is a really sweet truck. I used to love the F-150 from 1997. It was one of my favorite cars. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, there is no question. Holy crap, that's the biggest variation of a color variation / color difference I think I've seen in any of the new models since I've been collecting the last few years. That's absolutely awesome. Totally crazy. Okay, I'm gonna do this medium one, and I think it's gonna be a 3-car shift from light, medium, and dark. Heck yes. And yeah, I had to look through all 20 of them to make sure I had some variations. And I actually have 2 other light and dark variations hanging on my wall that are carded just in case. So they're definitely out there. There's definitely a huge shift. Maybe it's because it's actually a big truck. Oh yeah, that's a cool car. And I don't know if that's an Air. Huh. Okay, well, there was a piece of black goop or something on the side of the fender. I just rubbed it off with my finger. Not sure what that was. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I'll give you a little cheat here. Okay, yes, this one is definitely a medium color. This one's a darker color with some green and some pearl in it. This one doesn't have any of that pearl in it, just metallic. Now, let's check out the light boy. Okay, the light car, yes, it's definitely lighter. Heck yeah, my gut is good. Check out those 3 color variations, folks. And it's really easy to spot these variations in Hot Wheels new models because the new models are made in large numbers. And sometimes you have to find, you know, one car at one store and one car at another. But like the case was for yesterday when I found 15 of each of these at one Walmart, it was awesome because I could just line them all up next to each other in the cart and you can easily tell, oh, this one's lighter, that one's darker, and there's a whole bunch of the ones in the middle. So this one doesn't have as much paint, this one has more paint, and it has some pearlescent in it. This truck has no pearlescent in it at all. This maybe has a touch of pearl in it. It's very cool. I love the white Ford logo on the top and the sides of the truck. I like that the truck says F-150 Lightning on the door. That's awesome. The one thing I don't like about it is this race car splitter in the front and the side skirts, and it features this crazy rear diffuser. I love how they utilized the windshield for the covering the truck bed like a tonneau cover, and then I don't know if they used a separate piece, but this is frosted plastic back there for the grill. I think they used, or they frosted parts of this, I guess, so it's still one piece. So there's still 3 pieces constructing this car, but it looks like 4. Very, very ingenious. I'm so happy that I have 3 variations of both of these trucks. That is very awesome. Again, these 2 are harder to tell, but when you're looking at the truck straight on in the light and you kind of move around, yeah, you can tell this one's slightly darker, this one's way lighter, and this one has the tampos on the top lights. They're not exactly in the center of where they should be, but that's awesome. Thank you for checking out this video, and this is just, you know, one of my tips that I learned when I restarted collecting Hot Wheels back in 2017, and I've been collecting every single year since. And I found this out, you know, looking through a lot of the metallic cars starting in 2018. It was the Jaguar, the orange one. I found 15 or 20 of them at one Walmart, and I found 3 different color variations, and that's what spurred this whole movement for me. And I realized that the pearlescent paint and the metallic paint has variation. So thank you for watching, and this is just one of my tips I'd like to pass on to other collectors, you know, because a lot of people want to buy more than one of these cars anyways, you know. Most people like to have one card open, one card to keep carded. So if you're going to do that, you might as well buy one more that has a different color variation. It's like you get a second 2023 new model for your collection, which is very cool, and it's something that a lot of other collectors might not see. They might not care. They might pass it up. So I think that's awesome. Thanks for checking out this Free It Friday. Have a great day. Happy collecting and happy peg hunting.